You're now watching Sports Bettor's Paradise on the BetRivers Network.
All right, Jimmy out with you here on the Sports Bettor's Paradise on the BetRivers Network. All right, the field of 64 is set in the NCAA college baseball tournament. We've had a little luck with these the past couple of years. We'll try and get back to it. We did give out a pick a few weeks ago, about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and we caught Chase Burns on the front end of his run. Chase Burns is a big piece because he would have been the ace for Tennessee's staff. Tennessee's the number 1 overall seed, and deservedly so. But how much better would they be if they had Burns still there? Burns for Wake Forest, man, he is red hot. His last 5 games, including his 1 start in the ACC tournament in Charlotte, 5 straight games now with at least 13 strikeouts. It is unbelievable. He is a strikeout machine right now. We gave up Wake Forest at 15-1 to win the whole thing. We're going to stay with them. They're at 15-1 as we speak, so still a consideration right there for the Demon Deacons. Only other team with the price that I'm comfortable with is looking a little bit down the line at Florida State. Florida State, after Martin retired, handed it over to his son, and then they had to try and find the right guy. They got their guy now, and they're hosting again as they traditionally do. And at 20-1, they're probably a shot, a decent shot at 20-1 to win the whole thing. The rest of them a little short for me. Tennessee 5-1, A&M 5-1, Arkansas plus 750. Arkansas is a little light in the lineup, although they have the best pitcher in the country. And speaking of which, when we come off of these the conference tournaments, don't overreact to pitching performances in the conference. The teams that need to win, they're pitching their best pitchers on a little short rest, on a 4 days rest, a lot of them. Some of the top teams that have their national seed already set, for instance, like we said, Hagen Smith, he actually has slightly better numbers than Paul Skeens did last year in the national championship run for LSU. He pitched 2 innings. 2 innings in the SEC tournament in Hoover, suburban Birmingham. Kentucky, they won the regular season title for the for the SEC. They start a guy who's pitched like 2 innings in a month with a 6.06 ERA. And then the other ones, like LSU on the bubble and Alabama and in Florida, and they pitched all their best guys, and all of them got there with a record 11 teams from the SEC. But again, Chase Burns, man, something to watch right now for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Wake Forest is one of a couple of visiting teams, non-hosts of the regionals, that are favored, and deservedly so. Wake Forest in the Greenville, North Carolina region. East Carolina is the host. Great atmosphere in Greenville. The Pirates are traditional power. They are a good team, but, man, Wake Forest is just a little bit stronger. We like Wake Forest minus the 136 in that one. And then also Duke, who wins the ACC tournament. I love this Duke team. They're really good. They had a little taste of a run a year ago, and now they're back in it this year. They go to Norman, and they're the favorite. Duke is minus 110 right now at BetRivers. Oklahoma is plus 145. I think Duke is a stronger team there. So I do like those teams, non-hosts, that are actually favored right now. Another one of those teams that was kind of co-favorites at home, and that is North Carolina at Chapel Hill. LSU and North Carolina were even money. Now we've seen the action move it to North Carolina minus 121. This LSU team is way overpriced. They are 7th choice to win the whole thing. Let's face it, they're fortunate to be in here. They have gotten on a little run. They have kind of identified a couple of pitchers and may be tougher than a lot of 2 seeds out there, but in no way is this team fit to make a run to even get to Omaha. So North Carolina is the team that's probably deserving. That's a short price for them. LSU coming in at plus 105 with a lot of issues. They were 10-17 in the SEC until very late. They swept Ole Miss and then won their first 3 in the SEC tournament to get an at-large bid. Another interesting one is in Virginia and Mississippi State. This is a tight one here in Charlottesville, Mississippi. I don't really see a whole lot of value either side, but I just wanted to note that Mississippi State, definitely got hosed. They should be should be one of the top 16 seeds overall in this one. So dog should be a host. They're a live dog in Charlottesville, but not enough. And, man, one of the best atmosphere, probably the best atmosphere in all of college baseball at Duty Noble in Starkville, Mississippi. Clemson and Vandy should have a good one. Clemson and Tennessee hooked up in a wild regional last year, and here comes another capable and a team from the SEC that is on a roll as well. And not only that, but Corbin, the head coach of Vanderbilt, goes back to where he was an assistant under Jack Leggett at Clemson. Also a little bit of a sentimental note there. Look for the right field, Cajun Cafe. My buddy, my old college roommate, Truck Email, who started the Cajun Cafe out in just beyond the right field at Clemson's games. We lost him just a couple of months ago. So heavy hearts with the Clemson Tigers in this one, but Vandy might be a little bit of value at plus 140. Just consideration, not one of my favorite picks. And before you hook up, just add that throw in to Tennessee, who leads the country in home runs. That is a home run hitting park. Their pitching is a little bit better than numbers. Their hitting numbers are not quite as good because out in the hills in Tennessee, that ball flies, and it is a really kind of more than probably the most hitting-friendly park in all of the SEC, which has a lot of them. But Southern Miss at plus 375. Traditional power, not like don't have the finances and the budget that some of these SEC teams, and they're plucking some of their better players in the transfer portal. But this team is one of the hottest in the NCAA, and maybe a little payback from Tennessee going down to Hattiesburg and beating them in the Super Regionals. Tennessee minus 335. Be careful on laying that number and just throwing it in to your money line parlays. Some of the picks that I do have in, we're talking about the biggest dog that I have a regional is Indiana State. The Sycamores, what an athletic season it's been for them. They get hosed by the NCAA and don't get into the into March Madness, into the NCAA tournament. And how about this? They had a very great case of being a host site. They don't get the host site as well. And now Kentucky, the SEC or regular season champion, gets stuck with the Sycamores as the number 2 seed. Indiana State's got a real shot to take this one in Lexington. Keep in mind, the Wildcats have never been to Omaha in a College World Series, so that mental hump as well. All these places are going to be rocking, but Indiana State at plus 275 is a live underdog in the Lexington Regional. Another one, which is basically a pick'em, both teams at plus 105. ACC-SEC battle between the 1 and 2 seeds is in Raleigh, North Carolina. But I do think the Wolfpack is a little bit of value here. So South Carolina was one of those bubble teams. Didn't even know if they were going to get into the tournament, but they rode the hot bat of Messina, Cole Messina. Man, he hit back-to-back shots to dead center in the Hoover Met, which is a yank, to say the least. But back-to-back at-bats, probably the hottest hitter in all of college baseball right now. Pitch around him, Wolfpack, and you'll be just fine. NC State hosted here. I think you're getting some value at plus 105 in that one. And then another pick in the Stillwater Regional. Stillwater Regional, I think, is pretty doggone light in this one. So I like the Cowboys to take care of business. Florida, Nebraska, Niagara. Niagara 50-1. They're the 4 seed, automatic qualifier, okay? Nebraska, they did win, and that was fun to see. That was fun to see. Charles Schwab in Omaha for the Big Ten tournament. Fun to see a sea of red. That was fun. They came back to win 2-1 in the late innings against Penn State, but just not a serious threat to make a run in the regional. And then Florida. Florida, I got a future ticket on Jack Caglianone as the Golden Spikes winner. He's going to be one of the 3 finalists for back-to-back years. He did it at the plate. And the kid Condon for Georgia did a little bit better at the plate than him, but he didn't pitch like Caglianone did, who was Florida's best batter. They're 1 game over 500. Probably shouldn't even be in a tournament. I've watched them enough following that bet. They're just not that good. They're overvalued there. Oklahoma State is a very short price at minus 106 to take the Stillwater Regional, leaning on some of that overvalue of the national runner-up from last year. And look, a parlay. So we're not going to lay 250. The biggest regional that we'll lay is Wake Forest at minus 136. That's not what we'll do. But I'll try and find another favorite that I like, because I just don't see how you're going to keep Arkansas out of the super regional round. They'll be able to pitch down against the top four, the number 4 seed, and in Southeast Missouri State, and take care of that, and then have Egan Smith for that marble game. The marble game to put you in a spot where you have 2 games to win 1 to advance. So Arkansas minus 250, Kansas State and Louisiana Tech. They'll beat each other up. They'll use up their aces in that 2-3 opening round, favorable for Arkansas here. So going to match them up, though, with a couple of ACC teams. We mentioned Florida State. Florida State at minus 121. I like them coming out of the Tallahassee Regional. So, again, kind of all the tradition in the world. Still have never won it, though, with all those Mike Martin trips to Omaha. But against Alabama, who's a second choice at plus 190, the number 2 seed, Alabama is weak. They're fortunate to be in here and just do not pose any type of threat to be competitive with Florida State. Florida State minus 121 in that one. And then we mentioned earlier as well. So that Arkansas-Florida State parlay plays plus 156. If you want to hook up a 3-teamer, you can add on North Carolina with that one as well. So lots to talk about with the Field of 64. Be back next week as I look at the Super Regional matchups as well. Good luck to you on this NCAA baseball tournament this season. I'm Jimmy Ott for the Sports Bettor's Paradise on the Bet Rivers Network.